Protesters taking on President Trump in London today.
Say it loud, say it clear! Say it loud, say it clear!
Trump's not welcome here.
That was just a mile away from Trump's press conference with British Prime Minister Theresa May, and there was so much more, including something you may have heard about. This little guy, or big guy, depending on how you look at it, a somewhat notorious 20-foot diaper-clad inflatable Trump baby clutching his own little inflatable cell phone. There was also a Game of Thrones reference, a sign reading, "We'd rather have a visit from the Night King," and then outside Buckingham Palace, signs reading, quote, "Trump for prison and the Queen loathes you." Fact check, not publicly true based on their cordial greeting. Now, the protests raged throughout Trump's press conference, and he did what he does, not rise above it, not engage in diplomacy with a special ally. No, he broke ground by going to this country and attacking the mayor of London for a poor job, then talked up his tariff threat to Mexico, and then claimed the protests you see here with your own eyes in the country that he was visiting, where he is a visitor, well, he said it's not even real.
Even coming over today, there were thousands of people cheering. And then I heard that there were protests. I said, where are the protests? I don't see any protests. I did see a small protest today when I came, very small. So a lot of it is fake news, I hate to say. And I didn't see the protesters until just a little while ago, and it was a very, very small group of people put in for political reasons. So it was fake news.
I'm joined by Harvard professor Leah Wright-Rigueur and White House columnist for The Hill, Niall Stanage. Niall, what does it all mean?
Well, I mean, what it means for a start is that President Trump continues to believe that the statement of facts is in some way a smear against him. I mean, there were protesters there. It's not fake news. It's the evidence of our own eyes. And the other thing I would say, Ari, is that this visit reminds me how expectations for the president have been lowered internationally as well as domestically. The mere fact that he didn't, as he has done in the past, retweet quasi-fascists, or didn't declare, as he has done in the past, that areas of London are no-go areas, is seen as some kind of victory. The fact that Donald Trump did not create a major international incident is cause for us all to shout hurrah and break out the gin and tonics. I mean, it's a very peculiar environment that we're in, I think.
While we're fact-checking, take a listen to how some of this was covered on Fox News.
And here comes Ivanka and John Bolton. And some security. The National Security Advisor and Ivanka Trump walking across together.
Does that sound like some booing?
Yeah, it does. And it's not for Ivanka, it's for John Bolton, and he loves it.
Do you know, is there a special sort of, like, eyeglasses you can get so you know who the boos are for when you're covering a live event?
It's a special British form of auditory skill or genius that you can work out. You can mind read the booers and see who they're booing or hear who they're booing. I mean, this sort of thing is absurd, to try to protect the president by engaging in propaganda abroad as well as at home. It's
Leah?
Yeah, so we know that the Trump administration and the Trump family and Donald Trump have a creative and casual relationship with the truth and with fact, and that's on full display here. So there is an alternative reality happening within this world. With that said, the Brits absolutely know how to troll the president. They know how to get under his skin, and they did it with style, with spectacle. They took the day off from work. They spent a lot of money and effort and put a lot of creativity into this. We also saw the royal family troll in their own little way. But the other thing to remember, Ari, too, is that protest matters and protest is important. So we saw protests during the 2003, after the announcement about the invasion of Iraq, global protests. We saw protests during Donald Trump's inauguration all over the world, millions of people. And once again, we're seeing on a national stage, on a global stage, that we really are isolating ourselves. The United States is isolating ourselves, and that global powers and people that we've considered allies, people that we have been in coalition with, are rejecting the nation, and that does matter.
Yeah, and Leah, I wonder what you think as a professor thinking about the history. Donald Trump's certainly not the first president to delight in certain foreign clashes. both as an attitude and then playing it back home. Of course they dislike me there because I fight for us. So I certainly don't mean to suggest there's anything unique about that proto-nationalism, but when you see the British leader Corbyn going out, breaking tradition today to march with the protesters of a visiting U.S. president, you do start to wonder if that term we used to hear about, soft power, is also eroding under this president in a way where we just don't have our allies in our corner, or do you think that's overstated? Talia.
Yeah, so, I mean, we heard this at the beginning of Trump's presidency, where a number of foreign powers, people that we had considered allies, had been engaged in good diplomatic relations with, had said, we can't count on the United States anymore. We have to go it on our own. We have to look to other powers. We have to look towards other alliances. And we also know that Donald Trump and the Trump administration seem to feel very comfortable with authoritarian governments, with, dictatorships, with really questionable, problematic, troubling governments that have really alarming relationships to human rights, to ethics, and that kind of thing. So really what we're seeing is, a realignment. And, like you said, Ari, we've seen presidents before who have had, tense negotiations with other presidents. I don't know that we have seen something of this magnitude in the current moment, and that should be cause for alarm.
I'm almost out of time here now, but I did want to hear your accent one more time.
All I can say about Donald Trump and the London area is there ain't no love in the heart of the city.
Wow. Ain't no love in the heart of the city. Ain't no love in the heart of town. A Jay-Z remix of, who was the original? I'm not sure.
It was, the name's escaping me now. It was a soul singer of the 70s.
A soul singer of the 70s. Can I phone a friend?
It's not coming back to me, so you'll have to.
The control room is telling me not only can I not phone a friend, but I'm out of time, which I did preview. I love the reference. Do we have it? No. No, we don't have it. The news is fast, but not that fast. If you are watching this and you have Twitter, please tweet at The Beat with Ari. Tell us the answer. There are reports coming in that it may be Bobby Bland. We need a second source, but that's what we're hearing.